Hi guys, Ryu here with Revit for Blender. In this one I'm gonna show you how to very easily start with hard ups and Boxcutter. I've seen a lot of comments saying, people saying that hard ups is difficult, there's a lot of shortcuts, it's too complicated, too many options. Whenever you do something, you need to start from the basics, okay? When you design something, you can't start from tertiary details because it's gonna look like shit. You need to start from the very basics, okay? And I wanna show you today how little you need to know to perform 80 to 90% of tasks using hard ups and Boxcutter. And I guarantee you I can do it within 20 minutes, okay? Tops. So first of all, I want to show you how to install hard ups and Boxcutter and how to reinstall it, because there is, updates are popping quite often, so you might need to reinstall your hard ups and Boxcutter. So let's assume that you don't have hard ups and Boxcutter. Let's go to Edit, Preferences, and try to install it. To install hard ups or Boxcutter, you need to click on Install, and then you go to the folder on your PC where you downloaded the zip file from internet, from the store, so either Blender Market, Gumroad, whatever, and you install it, and then you click that check mark, and then you save preferences, and that's it, okay? When you uninstall it, however, it's a little bit different, because first what you need to do is go to this menu again, and then uncheck this box, okay? Save preferences, close this, close Blender, and reopen it. When you reopen the Blender, okay, open these preferences again, go here and remove the add-on, then refresh and install as you were installing for the first time, save preferences, and you're good to go. All right, so let me just turn it off, save preferences, and close it. Now when you install hard ups and Boxcutter, you will see both icons here on the bottom. That's hard ups, that's Boxcutter, okay? The order of these icons will depend on the order of installation. I usually install hard ups first and Boxcutter second. So when I'm going to press Alt W to enable one of these add-ons, I'm gonna go into Boxcutter mode first. Reason being is I don't need to have any of them enabled to press Q and go to hard ups menu, okay? So I don't need to have hard ups enabled to actually use Q menu or Control tilde menu from hard ups, all right? This is why my Boxcutter is usually installed second, okay? So just quicker to get there by pressing Alt W. Now, Alt W will cycle between hard ups and Boxcutter indefinitely, meaning if you look at the top bar here, okay, I'm in Boxcutter now, the top bar changes to Boxcutter menu. All these options here are for Boxcutter, okay? If you press Alt W again, all these options here are for hard ups, and you can see hard ups enabled, and I can flip between them indefinitely. When I press W, I'm gonna get out of hard ups and Boxcutter, okay? Doesn't matter which one you're in, W is gonna get you out of it. So these are the basics. Now let's set them up, okay? So once you install both add-ons, right, you will see that there is a hard ups icon here on the top. Click that, all right, and you will see this window will open by default. Then you will see that the hard ups version. If you click that version, okay, you'll see here that it needs update or it's a current version. So based on that, you can decide whether you want to update or not. If you're installing hard ups for the first time, I encourage you to go to the Start menu, then click on Auto Panel for the T panel, click on Boxcutter Notifications and Q menu prefixes. I also enabled this one. You don't need that. It simply displays materials in viewport that are in similar color to the materials in look depth, but you don't need that. You need these three, okay? When I go to Boxcutter, so Alt W and go here, I usually under input enable this right mouse button to cancel N-gon cut, and that's it. These are all my settings for hard ups and Boxcutter. How long did it take? 2 minutes, 3 minutes? Okay. Now let me show you how easy it is to use either of these add-ons, okay? I mean, guys, it's piss easy, all right? You just have to simplify shit, then it's gonna be, it's a joke, okay? So Shift A to add a cube, okay? We're adding a cube. Now, the main menu I'm using for hard ups is Q menu, okay? I'm using basically two menus for hard ups, Q menu and Control tilde menu, okay? And Control tilde menu is a menu that I'm using only for two things: the general options and the modifiers. That's it, okay? And the Q menu is the menu I'm in probably 99% of the time, okay? 99% of the time. That's one shortcut, all right? When you open a Q menu with an object selected, right, you will see that there are going to be some options here from the top. Now, the reason why you're seeing these specific options is because these are the most logical choices for this state of mesh. So when I'm going to press Q, I got to either bevel it or array it or mirror it or sharpen it, right? So these are the most logical choices. In addition to this, I'm just going to say that if you would like to learn more advanced usage of HardOps and Boxcutter, just hover over a menu, any menu, and you will see there is a tooltip displayed with all the shortcuts that you can possibly need, okay? So it's really important that you just, hover over certain menus, and you will see that there are going to be additional options popping, okay? But that's just a side note. So let's add a bevel, okay? Because that's the most important thing you're going to be doing. Right? Add a bevel, and you just move your mouse to change the width. Scroll your wheel to add or deduct segments. You can see that, by the way, on the bottom, you can see width is changing, segments are changing. Once I add a bevel, you can see that it's popping here in the bevel, in the modifier stack, right? You can see the same thing when you go to Control tilde and go to the wrench, okay? You got the modifiers displayed here, and now the modifiers look a little bit different than in the vanilla Blender. They're just simply a bit more convenient, okay? The UI is a little bit more convenient, in my opinion. Just set a little bit differently. You got also additional options, so it's really cool. This is why I'm using Control tilde menu, because I prefer to use modifiers and adjust my modifiers from this menu, okay? So we have a bevel. Second modifier that you need to add is weighted normals, because you can see that we have a wonky shading. So Q and Alt click on Sharpen will add weighted normals. And you can see that, unlike in vanilla Blender, modifier was added at the end of the stack, which is a correct position for weighted normals. If you go to Control tilde menu again and go to General, you can see that Auto Sort for modifiers is turned on. I never touched this, okay? You can look at these modifiers, what they denote. I very rarely touch this, okay? Sometimes I adjust some stuff, but it's like literally once in a month, okay? And that's it. Option that I'm using quite a lot, okay, is this, all right? It's the sharp options for Sharpen in HardOps. So whenever you go to Q menu and click on Sharpen, right, you will apply whichever edges you have here selected. So crease, seam, B-weight, sharp. These three are actually by default. You can enable all four, or you can enable just two, or just one, or none. Okay, it's up to you what you want to do. But this is the option I'm changing quite often, because I want to make sure that I'm applying exactly the only edges, the only type of edges I want to my edges. Okay, so if I don't need crease or seam, because I know I will not be working with, let's say, subdivision, or I'm not going to be UV unwrapping, I don't need this shit, okay? I need only these, all right? In fact, quite frankly, most of the time, I need either this one or this one, okay? So then you press OK. And when you click on Sharpen here and click Sharpen, you will see that you're gonna get sharp edges and B-weight added to your mesh, all right? And if you wanna unsharpen this, you simply press A, select everything, and click Sharp to remove everything that you've added. Really simple, guys, all right? So there you go. And it will remove everything that's basically selected here. So it will add B-weight and sharp or remove B-weight and sharp, okay? Hope that's clear. Right. And then you, of course, have array. And I'm going to show you that, if I click array and, for example, press X, which is the most important shortcut here, it will change the axis on which is array. And if you press H here, you can see on the bottom right, you can see all the possible shortcuts that you can use with this tool. Now, in terms of Boxcutter, let's go to Alt W and enable Boxcutter. Now, Boxcutter has one main menu, and that's a D menu. And this D menu will basically gather up all these menus from the top here, okay? So most of these menus are in here, okay? This is just kind of compact, all right? You don't really need to know all these. You don't need to really use all these. Most of the time, what you're going to be using is switching between circle cut, box cut, and end-gun cut, turning on and off cyclic in end-gun, and changing from knife cut to cut mode. And that's it. This is like 95% of the time, okay? Literally. Another really important menu for Boxcutter is Shift V. and I'm gonna be talking about it in a moment. So again, you got D menu and Shift V menu. That's it. Let's perform a cut, shall we? So I'm going to, with, box selected, so D, and click on the box. We're in a cut mode, okay, which means, we're gonna be slicing through mesh. So we click and drag, okay, and then you release the mouse when you're happy with your shape, and you move your mouse to create a, extrusion. You can press tab to pause it, and you will see different dots. And these dots, you can drag them and move your shape by the dots if you want to, okay? And when you want to continue extruding, you just press E to continue extruding. You see what I mean? It's very easy. You can also left click to pause it. Okay, if you double click, you're gonna cut it, right? So that's the basic operations for Boxcutter. Now you will notice here on the top right, when I'm gonna start drawing a cut, I'm gonna have a new collection being created called cutters. Watch, see what I mean? And that's automatic by Boxcutter. So let me just draw this cut here, okay? And then let's say I wanted to change the shape of it. Now on the bottom, you can see all the options that you can use with this live cutter. So you can press B for bevel, okay? You can press Q for quad bevel, and then again Q to remove it and B to remove it, right? You can press B and move your mouse to the left to reset it, and then to the right to enter chamfer, left to reset it, and right to enter bevel, and so forth and so on. B to remove it. You can press S to scale it, okay? R to rotate it, okay? G to move it, right? You can press T to solidify it, okay? Like that. And T to unsolidify it. Shift T to taper it, okay? And these are probably the most basic and most common operations that you're going to be performing. Also, you have W for wedge cut, okay? So you got these. There's going to be a tapered wedge cut. Okay? Right mouse button to cancel, right? And left mouse button to apply. Let's press W to remove the wedge cut. And click. And this will add a boolean to the top of a stack, because again, Control tilde menu will show you that the Boolean modifiers have been sorted automatically, okay? So that's really cool. And you have a cutter here, which means with Shift 2, so when you press Alt H to unhide it, with Shift 2 you can, recover this cutter, all the cutters on the mesh. But what if you, for example, had two cutters, all right? So I'm gonna create another cut here. You wanted to, recover on the one cutter. Well, you click on the mesh, you press Q with hard ups, and you can see now the menu has changed. Instead of array, we have ever scroll, and ever scroll is something that will allow you to recall cutters. So you click on ever scroll, and you scroll your mouse to cycle between the cutters on your mesh. Then you click, and you have this cut live, and now you can just have fun with the cutter. So you can actually adjust this cutter, okay? You can slice it if you want to with another cutter. So let's go to the top view. And we could slice it with a box like this, right? So there you go, okay? Then let's talk about mirror. So mirror is very easy in hard ups. You just simply press Alt X, and this is a shortcut for mirror. By the way, I really suggest you guys learn shortcuts. And you will see a gizmo, and red one is X, yellow is Y, and blue is Z. So if the cube is rotated, so will be the mirror gizmo, because it's calculating a local object orientation, not the global one, the local one. Now let's look how it works. So Alt X, okay, and let's say we wanted to mirror this across X-axis, right? All you need to do is hover over here and click, and that's it. And it will add automatically a mirror after all the booleans and bevels, but before the weighted normals, which is the correct positioning for mirror. Control Z to go back. Alt X, and now you can see on the top here there's a menu. If you press Tab, you'll access additional menu, and if you press D, you'll have this menu displayed here under your cursor. All these menus are displayed on the bottom. Now there are additional options here, but we're not going to be talking about that. These are all the types of mirrors, okay? So you can adjust the mirror modifier, new mirror modifier, which means the second modifier. Then you have modifier and application of that modifier. So you mirror something and you apply that mirror. You got a bisect, okay? Then you got symmetry and flip. So for example, if I choose flip, I can flip the shape, you know, on horizontally here. Boom. See what I mean? Okay. Alt X, flip. But what if I wanted to flip this, okay? And then I wanted to mirror this across to the other side. I need to get out of the flip option. Very easy. Press X to reset the mirror. You can see all the options in the bottom, guys, okay? Everything is written, right? So mirror to add a mirror modifier, and now we got this interesting shape, okay? Another really important function in hard ops is going to be smart apply. Smart apply is a way of applying modifiers in a specific order with one click. So you can access this by selecting an object, pressing Q, and going either to operations and smart apply, or alt clicking on ever scroll. Okay, it's the same thing. And when I do that, you will see smart apply was executed, and all my modifiers except for bevel and weighted normals were applied, which means all these modifiers, the booleans in the mirror, were applied, okay? And that's how smart apply works. Let's press Shift 2 to remove these cutters. So one more time, hard ops Q menu and Control tilde menu, Boxcutter D menu and Shift V menu. Let me talk to you about the Shift V menu for a second because we haven't touched on it yet, okay? Now let's bevel this, so Q, bevel, and Q, alt click on weighted normals, right? And then in Boxcutter mode, so Alt W to enter Boxcutter, we're going to rotate this cube and we're going to go Shift V and make sure we're in object orientation, okay? This means that just like with mirror, okay, you're gonna be having cutters oriented to your local rotation or location of your object. So if the object rotates, so will the cutters. In view mode, you're gonna be cutting from your view perspective, okay? So the way I'm using view mode is when I'm in side view orthographic, and then I'm using, you know, view orientation cut. When I'm using object orientation cut, I'm using usually at an angle in perspective mode, and I'm simply cutting based on object orientation, and the cursor location will determine to which face you're gonna be aligning. You see what I mean? Last option I'm using a lot, and this is something I really need to show you, is Curve Extract. Okay, Curve Extract is a fantastic tool, it's very powerful. So if you go to edit mode and select any of these faces, right, and go to Q, and you're gonna shift click on Curve Extract, you can see that the menu is different, the Q menu is different. Shift click, right, you will duplicate that face, rip it from the mesh, separate it into its own object, and start solidifying all in one click, okay? So this creates kind of like a paneling effect. So let's say, for example, right, that I had a cut here that's gonna be a knife cut, all right? So let's go to top view, and let's go to orthographic, right? Shift V to switch to view mode. Then I'm going to draw a cut here, and then I'm gonna press K to enter knife mode, and I'm going to slice it with a knife. When I'm gonna go to edit mode, this knife cut is gonna be automatically selected. Then I'm gonna press Q and Shift Curve Extract. This will create a paneling on top of my model, okay? And this is really convenient when you wanna create, you know, sci-fi paneling, all right? Another really convenient option for hard ops is Curve Extract from an edge. So if you select an edge and simply go to Curve Extract, you will be able to curve extract a pipe out of this. When you press S, you can smooth it, okay? And you know, you can create some really cool stuff with it. I'm gonna give you a really cool tip here, so watch this. If I want to reset it to just be a curve again, I press Q, adjust curve, X to reset it, right? With this selected, Control A, visual to mesh. I'm in vert mode, so curve was resetted to vert modes, right? E, X, and then E, Y, right? Go to object mode, Control A, visual to mesh, and then apply scale. Go to vert mode, select these two, Shift Control B to bevel them, scroll your mouse, okay, click, and then we're gonna go to object mode, and then we're gonna go to mesh tools and curve extract, and then S, and you got a pipe. easy, easy. And you can revert it again. Q, curve extract, X, Control A, visual to mesh, you invert mode. That's a bit more advanced, but you know, just a cool trick. Last thing I'm going to show you is for Boxcutter, okay? So I want to show you how easy it is to change between cuts. Remember when I told you the D menu is really important and you can change different types of cuts here. You can see that we switched to knife, right? The problem with knife cut is that it will get stuck in knife cut forever. So if you start trying to cut something, let's go back to object orientation. You're going to try to cut something, it's going to be knife. You can really easily switch this by pressing X on your keyboard. You can cycle between different types of cuts. So X will give you a cut. Another X is going to give you a slice, another X is going to give you intersection, another X is going to give you inset mode, okay? And then when you, for example, press T in the inset mode, you can adjust the solidification here, just a tip, okay? They all work the same way, okay? And when you press K, you're going to switch to knife, all right? So again, X is going to flip between these cuts, okay? And K is going to give you a knife. A is going to give you a shape. J is going to give you a Union Boolean. But you can see all the tips on the bottom, guys. All the fucking shortcuts are on the bottom, right? All of them. So it's not that difficult. Also, when you go to D menu, okay, you can see the shortcuts are also displayed. See what I mean? It's really simple when you start with the very basics. These are the very basics of Hardops and Boxcutter. These tools will get you probably 85% of the job done, okay? Maybe even more. Yes, there are more advanced tools, and yes, I could talk about them for hours, but start with something simple, master the basics, learn the shortcuts, and you're gonna be good. And then you start building on top of that knowledge, okay? Now, if you would like to learn more about Hardops and Boxcutter, we have a free course in which we create a sci-fi terminal. You can get that course by clicking the link in the video description. Also, we have an ultimate guide to Hardops and Boxcutter, which is an amazing course. We cover all the tools in Hardops and Boxcutter. It was recently updated, so it's quite fresh. And in addition to that, you got 2 modeling courses, okay? One of them is the old one, this is a sci-fi truck, and there's a new one, is a sci-fi spaceship. And trust me, if you go through that course, you're gonna be more than efficient in Hardops and Boxcutter. Like everything in life, things take practice, so you know, just like with Blender you need shortcuts, you will work much faster in Hardops if you're gonna be using shortcuts. So I think this should cover the basics of Hardops and Boxcutter. Like I said, more stuff in the video description, go for the links and check us out. In addition to this, we have a membership on blenderbuilds.com. It's a monthly membership, kind of like Patreon but on steroids. And if you join, you're gonna have an instant access to about 12 courses right now and 12 packs of decals and trim sheets. Every month there is new content. There are also other perks, like for example 15% discount on all the premium course releases from Blender Bros. We have a Q&A section, community section, where we have people asking us questions. It's a really amazing community, so check it out. And during Christmas time, membership is going to be discounted by 30%. So if you decide to join us during Christmas, as long as you're going to stay subscribed, you're going to have a permanent discount of 30% and access to all the perks. And last but not least, there are links to Hardops and Boxcutter add-ons. There are affiliate links, so if you click on the links and grab these add-ons from my links, you're going to help my channel as well. In addition, there are all the links to all the add-ons I'm recommending because I'm using them. And if you need something like, for example, Cablerator or, a mesh machine, whatever, Kitops, hop on the links and check the stores. If I'm recommending it in my video description, it means I'm using it. I do not recommend add-ons I'm not personally using. Thanks so much for watching. Catch you in the next one.